morning. We're going to start with a call and response song. So I'll call. I hope I hear you respond. Oh, divine, infinite one.
Oh, divine, infinite one.
I lean into you. Divine, infinite one.
Oh, divine, infinite one.
I lean into you.
I lean into you.
Om Namo Bhagavate.
Om Namo Bhagavate.
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate.
Om Namo Bhagavate.
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Rama Rama.
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 Rama Sitaram.
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 Oh, divine, infinite one.
Oh, divine, infinite one.
I lean into you.
I lean into you.
Sounds so good. Oh, divine, infinite one.
Oh, divine, infinite one.
I lean into you.
I lean into you.
Rama, Rama.
Rama, Rama.
Oh, Rama, Rama.
Rama, Rama.
Rama, Rama.
Rama, Rama.
Rama, Rama.
Rama, Rama.
Rama Sitaram.
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 Oh, divine, infinite one.
Oh, divine, infinite one.
I lean into you.
I lean into you.
Oh, divine, infinite one.
Oh, divine, infinite one.
I lean into you.
I lean into you.
Oh, divine, infinite one.
Oh, divine, infinite one.
I lean into you.
I lean into you.
Oh, divine, infinite one.
Oh, divine, infinite one.
I lean into you.
I lean into you.
Oh, you sound so good. I can hear you. What a joy. Oh, one God. Oh, one God. We are one God, one family. We are one God living in diversity. We are one God. And now I see we are one God
Good morning, everyone. Can we give some love to Christopher Fritchie and our fabulous bands for opening up our hearts with those wonderful sing-alongs? And isn't it wonderful to get to sing along again? Yeah, I know. It's fabulous. All right. Well, I am Reverend Russ Laguerre. I am your assistant minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. And I'm so glad to be with you today. And if you are joining us for the first time, welcome. And we wanted to say a special welcome too for any kids that maybe are wanting to come back. We've got all kinds of wonderful coloring things out there for the kids. We've got these coloring pages, and we have these, who knew, they have these little pre-packaged things of crayons too. So please know your children are welcome here, whether they're sitting with you or we've got a little table for them outside to color as well. And thank you to all of our live stream viewers who are joining us as well for being with us today. We're so grateful for you, and we're so grateful for all of the likes and the comments and the shares that you've been doing on Facebook and YouTube and getting the word out about our live stream. We really love everybody who is here, so thank you for being here. Now, if you're looking for more information about what's happening here at the center, because there is far more that goes on here than just Sunday mornings, you can visit our website, cslsr.org. And on that, under the Sunday Links button, right on that front page, there is a Sunday Bulletin button. And in our Sunday Bulletin, we have all the goings on here at the center throughout the week so that you can always stay tuned in to whatever you might be looking for, whether it's a meditation, a prayer call, or a class. Now, at the Center for Spiritual Living, Santa Rosa, we are motivated by a vision of a healthy, loving world. It is known as the global vision, and it calls us to imagine a world that works for everyone. And we envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all of life. A world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects through the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. And this vision is supported by us through our shared values here at the center, which we have on this wonderful slide here. And we're going to do something a little new. I'd like to invite you to read those along with me. So, spiritual living, integrity, love, and compassion. Thank you. And we are a community-supported organization, and your generosity helps us to sustain our work. And there are 4 ways that you can contribute your financial support to your center. You can give online on our website. Some people like to send us a check. And we have this new text to give, where you can send a text message to 707-675-2399 by texting the dollar amount that you'd like to give. And if it's your first time, it will send you a text message back that will walk you through how to set up your payment method. So I love using it because I can do my donation in like 5 seconds. It's that easy once it's set up. So we also will have baskets for all of our in-person crew here today at the exits. And no matter how you choose to give here, please know that we are so grateful for you, whether it's your financial gifts, whether it's your service, whether it's just bringing your beautiful faces here to share your consciousness with us. Thank you so much. Now, I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, the prayer, the practices, and Dr. Kim's message today is exactly what you need to experience for the next step of your spiritual unfoldment. You are so welcome here. Now, please enjoy some music before our short time of silent contemplation before our opening prayer.
As I say a tender yes to everything that comes to me, my heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is, it brings me to my knees. I surrender, I am peace. As I say a tender surrender yes to everything that comes to me. My heart is open, I am free. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. I am peace. I open to all that is. I open to all that is. It brings me to my knees. I surrender. I am peace. I surrender. I am peace.
There is just one thing going on, but that one thing is all things, everywhere, all of the time, powerful. It's birthed universes, creating the super flower blood moon tonight that all will see. It is a peace so very deep, no floor, no ceiling. It is a joy so grand it cannot be contained. It is the one infusing all life. From the sideways rays of the morning sun to the pink and violet skies at dusk, to the one hand reaching for another in kindness and love and affection. It is in the ability of the Creator to continuously give of itself in all realms, all times, all places. And I say a tender yes to this connection for me and for each one here and online and in the broader world everywhere. And I claim for this service today a tender yes for each one here and finding what they will take in that will assist and be useful and give joy. The message, this sweet music, the community itself, from the colorful tables outside to the coloring books inside. Life is indeed for each one. Remembering that as the sound of children in playgrounds and the hymns of birdsong, all reinforcing what is good. In joyful gratitude, I take this in, and with that, just lift up this prayer to the one who has already made it so. And together we say, and so it is. Good morning. I am Tamira Hume, and I am a practitioner here at the center. And today's affirmation is, I'm happy to be alive, living a joyful life. Thank you.
There is just one mind. That mind is God's mind. That mind is perfect. That mind is my mind now. There is just one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. Right now. Right now. And infinite spirit, ever flowing, ever within me, ever growing, infinite wisdom, ever shows the way. There is just one love. That love is God's love. And that love is perfect. That love flows through me now. There is just one light. That light is God's light. And that light is perfect. That light shines through me now. Right now. Right now. And infinite spirit, ever flowing, ever within me, ever growing, infinite wisdom, ever shows the way. There is just one heart. That heart is God's heart. That heart is perfect. That heart beats in me now. There is just one song. That song is God's song. That song is perfect. That song sings through me now. Right now. Right now. Right now. Welcome, Dr. Kim.
Good morning. I lost track of where we were in the service. This is the place, right? Okay. Well, it's interesting because I told Christopher that I wanted to speak about that place in us which is still and one. And as I gave the talk, as I prepared the talk, I began to find that I'm actually talking about our experience of two. I've recently taught a class on what are called non-dual teachings, teachings that do not work with duality, you and me, etc., that really don't work with two. Yet all of these teachings, and they exist in Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, everywhere, they seem to say one thing. They seem to say that there are two levels of mind that we experience. Each one of us has the mind of human affairs, ideas, identity, the mind you call yourself, the one that was born, the one that dies. That's the human mind. That's one mind. And the other mind, another part of one mind, is the one mind itself, within which that human mind lives. And that one mind is the mind that we all share. It is the mind that includes everything that is and everything that we are, including the human mind. William James said this beautifully when he said, "We are like islands in the ocean, separated on the surface, but joined in the deep." That's what's going on in this room right now. You're hearing a talk from me at the level of human mind, perhaps, but the one mind is always the basis and the only thing going on. The relationship between the two, I think, is problematic for us because we're so identified with this mind, the mind that thinks, as I said, that it was born, that it will die, that lives as our identity. It's the one we've been claiming for so long. But the American writer and philosopher, Henry David Thoreau, taught about these two levels of mind. He spoke of the first level, the one I just called human, that is the world that lives in us, the mind that lives in us, lives in time. It's bounded by time. It does things, they come and they go. And then there is the one mind, there is the big mind, as I'll begin to call it, which is eternal. And they both live simultaneously in us. One arises from the other, but they're both active in us. So to get a sense of our relationship to it, I'd like you to do a little visualization with me. So imagine yourself sitting by a stream, and you can see the ripples of water as it goes by, rippling in the sun. There's the sound of the stream flowing over rocks. And then you can trail your hand in the water and you can feel it flow by. Now imagine yourself taking a drink from the stream. And this is how Thoreau described that moment. Time is but the stream I go fishing in. I drink at it, but while I drink, I see the sandy bottom and detect how shallow it is. Its thin current slides away, but eternity remains. The stream of thoughts that you know as your mind, your human mind, flows like the water in the stream. And this is the wonderful truth. As it flows by, you can see through time to the stream bed, to eternity. It's right there. It's right here, always. But you have to look for it. You have to do something to take yourself out of this human mind level. So let me switch to Buddhism. As many of you know, I have a Buddhist background and have learned so much from my teacher, Suzuki Roshi. And he talked to us about these two levels of mind. And he called them, simply enough, big mind and small mind. And within us, there is this small mind and its worlds of comparison and judgment. And then there's the big mind, which includes everything, including the activity of the small mind. Suzuki Roshi spoke of it this way. If your mind is related to something outside itself, that mind is a small mind, a limited mind. If your mind is not related to anything else, then there is no dualistic understanding in the activity of your mind. You understand all activity as just waves in the activity of mind. Big mind experiences everything within itself. Do you understand the difference between the two minds? The mind which includes everything, and the mind which is always comparing itself to something that is seemingly outside. Actually, they're the same mind, but the understanding is different. And your attitude towards life will be different according to which understanding you have. When you understand yourself and your world as an activity of this same big mind, then you can feel your connection to every person, as I described in the image of the islands separated on the surface, joined in the deep. Right now, we are joined in the deep, all of us in this room. The big mind is the one mind, the one that Chris has been singing about, that the band has been playing. We call it spirit or God or Buddha. It has everything you seek. It has happiness, and which leads beyond happiness into equilibrium, into being undisturbed and unperturbed, steady and solid. It's always already here. It's here right now in this room. But we don't see it because most of our attention is captured, trapped by our thoughts and opinions. They only allow us to see what the thoughts and opinions say is real. When I heard the title of this talk, If You're Happy and You Know It, I said, oh my gosh, I have to apologize to everybody for putting some people call it an earworm. Some of us will be singing that song, If You're Happy and You Know It, the rest of the day. I'm sorry to do that. But it's very important to know about that, because that is how small mind works all the time. It mindlessly repeats some meaningless tune or information that you heard or thought that you had over and over again, making something feel meaningful just because it's been said so many times. This, you may realize, has become a political tactic. You just repeat it over and over again, and then it begins to feel true. That's how small mind works in us. It just repeats over and over again, mindlessly. That is, it doesn't do it with any intention or plan. It just does it. And you begin to think, this is really true. It must be true because it keeps on repeating itself. There's an old phrase, I don't know how many people know it, but at one time the nation of France was really divided over a political issue. I won't go into that. But one of the phrases that came up was, 10 million Frenchmen can't be wrong. We live in such a culture today. 10 million people can't be wrong. There must be something going on there, but there isn't. Small mind is just humming that tune over and over. Some of the signs that small mind is working in us, you can see in bumper stickers. This is one of my favorites. Actually, they're all my favorites. There's only two. If you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. And then there's another bumper sticker that goes around, which is very interesting. It's like this: don't blame me, I voted for. That kind of one side or the other is what small mind does. Books are written about, of all things, toxic positivity. That's a current topic that's coming up in a big way. And at the same time, books are written that say, you can't afford the luxury of a single thought. Negative thought, excuse me. You can't afford the luxury of a single negative thought. These are, shall I say, just opposites. And small mind works in opposites. It's either in confusion or in antithesis, ideas fighting each other. So to know what mind you're working from at any time, ask yourself, is my universe friendly? Do I feel at home in it? The fact is, it is friendly, and you're always at home, but we don't see it. Instead, most of the time, we spend fighting off the universe, preparing to defend ourselves from what it might do, because it's against us, or at the very least indifferent, and doesn't know how it affects us. All our efforts in the present, in the small mind, are used to defend against this outside world, the universe, that could attack at any time, unpredictable. And so we spend all our efforts now to defend against a future that hasn't happened, or a past that never quite happened. Eckhart Tolle had a wonderful little phrase that I have been using lately. Stress is a focus on the next moment. When you're stressing out, you're not. You're working with some other time. Your world, your being, your awareness of what you are is available to you if you open your mind to the big mind. You access it by awareness, by attention, and attunement. Let's talk about awareness. Sometimes you may think that you're not really capable. The small mind will tell you this. You're not capable of knowing truth or knowing these differences. In fact, it's considered wise and humble and virtuous to accuse yourself of being foolish and ignorant. You can no longer do that, because that's the small mind you're talking about and its fears. It isn't even that way. But the idea that I'm just Kim, and I'm foolish and ignorant, and therefore I can't really do anything that makes any difference. Stop accusing yourself. Stop doubting your experience and perception. The more you give your understanding, the way you know things, the more you give it a foundation, the more you allow it to be so, the more delight you have, because you're no longer putting yourself down continuously for not knowing it all. And along with that, you can attune to it, attune to this big mind. Use your attention to see that stream bed, to see that Spirit is actively in you right now, and that the thoughts and feelings are moving through it. Emma Curtis Hopkins, one of our teachers in this movement, said, "The musician thinks she is skilled at the piano just because she practices hard. Not so. It is because she has in some moment been touched by a spiritual feeling or ideal that moved her. And it has come forth so far as to lead her to be willing to practice to give it more freedom." We've all been touched by Spirit, either in music, beauty, an infinite number of ways, and we each know it when it's so. Are you willing to practice to give more freedom to your big mind? One of the ways you can give that freedom is through learning spiritual practices, which are in line with, which are in tune with mind. You have to look for it. As I've said, you have to look for big mind. And it brought to mind, when I was writing this part of the talk, a phrase in the Bible that Mary is quoted as saying. Mary, the mother of Jesus, says, "My soul doth magnify the Lord." Kind of an antique or antiquated phrase, but your soul right now is continually seeking out to know more and more of God, to know more and more of it. It's something you're always seeking, and which you can consciously practice and amplify. Is it possible to improve a small mind? Yes. In fact, now we go into the neurocognitive part of the talk. You can rewire your brain. And by that, now I'm talking about small mind, because when I say brain, it typically thinks it's small mind. There is a researcher, very now well-known, New York Times bestseller on TED Talks, etc. His name is Sean Aker, but the name is actually Anchor without the N. Okay, Aker. And this is what he found doing research, leading a research team at Harvard. He found that working with the practices I'm about to show you, that there are measured results. The people who did this their productivity rose by 31%. Their sales increased by 37%. The likelihood of promotion rises by 40%. And in medicine, doctors are 19% faster, more accurate at coming up with the correct diagnosis. The techniques that gave these results are so simple that a sixth grader can do them. And if you do these, your brain is actually rewired so that it no longer takes the disposition of being against or confused or whatever, but it's rewired so that you can work more optimistically and produce more results, if you will. Here's the magic formula. Do each of these practices 21 days in a row, and do any one of them no more than 2 minutes. 2 minutes a day, 21 days for each of these practices except for one, which you'll see. So the first one you'll understand right away. We talk about it all the time. Every day, spend 2 minutes a day, no more than 2 minutes, and write down 3 new things that you're grateful for. What you're doing is you're training your small mind brain to scan for positives instead of threats. It's the fastest way to teach optimism. Secondly, this one you'd know too, is exercise. Now this one is more than 2 minutes. It's 15 minutes of cardio exercise, but really it just means move for 15 minutes. Aker shows that their research said it's the equivalent of taking an antidepressant when you do this. And it lasts much longer, and it has a 30% lower relapse rate. Why is exercise valuable? It trains your mind to believe my behavior matters. And another thing, now this one you'll recognize too. Every day for 2 minutes, stop what you're doing, hands off the laptop. Now breathe and watch your breath go in and out for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Do this brief meditation every day. It allows your brain to focus on one thing at a time. It improves accuracy, happiness, stress. So those, I think, we understand: meditation, exercise, and gratitude. But here's the fourth one. Take a positive experience you had in that day, and for 2 minutes, write in detail about it. It should be within the last 24 hours. And when you do this, this allows your brain to relive it and amplify it, and teaches your brain that you are seeing and feeling things that you would not have noticed unless you brought it to mind again. And finally, and this, by the way, is the most effective, they say, express kindness, but in a very specific way. Write a text or an email for 2 minutes only to someone to praise them or thank them. Whatever you decide, you're going to send it, and do it for a different person every day. Text or email someone, praise or thank them. It's the greatest predictor of long-term happiness. By doing these activities to train your brain, you release dopamine and all that stuff, but in fact, it rewires the brain, and that's observable in brain scans. We typically think that in order to feel good about ourselves, we need to have something to feel good about. But actually, these studies show that if you feel good about something, then you will have something to feel good about. Because you'll be more inclined to do it, and you'll certainly see it. So instead of waiting for yourself to become happy or to feel good to do something, instead just do it and feel its results. William James, that I quoted earlier, has a wonderful quote. He says, "You do not sing because you are happy. You are happy because you sing." Stop waiting for happiness to overtake you and cause you to be a success. Begin to act like a success, and you will discover its happiness. Now, how to get yourself to do all this? This is part of the study, so I want to pass it on. So the problems, says Sean Aker, he says, you've got to learn how to get through the first 20 seconds to start an activity. Typically, you sit down in a chair, reach for, I don't know who does this, but I hear that it says here, and you reach for the remote and you watch TV. So what his strategy was, he moved the remote to another room. And then he put work that he wanted to do besides TV nearby, closer than the remote, a book to read, a friend's phone numbers, a guitar to play. What could you learn if you changed your TV viewing habits? Think about how to make it 3 to 20 seconds easier to start. You want something readily at hand, available to do something else than just falling into that routine pattern. These are practical spiritual practices which allow happiness to have a prominent place in your small mind so that you can know and attune to what's always happening in the big mind. Just try one of these exercises, the researchers say. Commit to one, and then do more as you feel. So with these practical instructions and the awareness of who it is that is alive now in each of us, small and big mind, I ask you to acknowledge the truth that it is all of it divine. And let us pray together. There is right now in this room one mind listening in each person here. It is the same mind. It is right now knowing and feeling its being as each one. All of it is present always. So I speak this word in that awareness, and I accept that there is right now something moving, which is changing the minds, the brains of each one here, so that they now know that there is something infinitely larger living in, through, and as them in every moment. And I give thanks for this awareness because I know it releases us from prison. It frees us from the trap of identity, of being the small mind, and opens us to the magnificent, infinite one mind that we all share. I release this word now with gratitude and allow it to be, and so it is.
Can we give some love to Dr. Kim? Thank you for that beautiful, inspiring message. And I'm actually going to give you a chance to practice what Dr. Kim was talking about, at least one of those things. This is the time of our service where we typically acknowledge our gratitude and allow that gratitude to be the source of any gifts that we give today. And so I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable and call to mind something in the past week that fills you with so much gratitude, and allow that image to fill you up, to grow, to expand outward, so that it is the only thing that is happening with you right here and now. And when you feel ready, go ahead and come back to this room. And if you have your journals, I invite you to write down that thing in your journals under the talk title today so that you can get started on that practice. And then you only have 20 more days to go. All right, it is time for some announcements to find out what's going on in our wonderful community. And the first one is that, as you know, we've had more and more people showing up here in person in service. And that means that we have a need for volunteers to help our services to go smoothly and to ensure that we're able to serve coffee and have the tables moved and have everything set up and clean and beautiful. And so we're looking for more greeters. We're looking for more coffee servers. We're looking for people to help out our wonderful facility manager, William Abel, to help keep our center clean and repaired and maintained throughout the week. So if service is something that calls to your heart, please send an email to linda.han@cslsr.org, or if you're here in person, you can talk to her at the information table after service today. She has a sign-up sheet there where you can write down your contact information as well as what you're interested in. And we're just so grateful for everybody who has been saying yes. We've had a lot more people sign up, and we hope to continue that trend as we grow and we come back to life. One of the things, too, that we are working to bring back to life here at our center is youth and family. And for us to be effective with that, we know that we need to hear from all of our wonderful parents, all of our grandparents about what it is that you are needing and looking for in our youth program. So we have a survey on our website that you can find by going to cslsr.org and then finding the picture of the super cute finger painting little girl. You can't miss her. It's a very short survey, and we would love it if you would fill that out and let us know what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you're needing, so that we can work towards bringing something like that into our youth and family program. There's more to come on that soon. We're actually going to be meeting at the end of the month as a team to see what's next. So we would love to have your comments to help guide us. And did you know that we have many, oh boy, I'm looking at the list here, it's so long. We have many meditation and prayer events that we, as well as CSL, host, and we help to have them host through us here at the center. And the first one is our partner center in Geneva, Switzerland, has been hosting a daily peace prayer practice every day at 12 p.m. except on Fridays, where we get to share our prayer with our Ukrainian brothers and sisters. And it's a really beautiful way to get in touch with that community and to offer your consciousness and your love. So I encourage you to check that out. We also have Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. There's a Generating Love meditation that we host on Zoom. And we also have longer meditations that happen every Wednesday at 6 p.m. as well as Sunday at 10 a.m., both on Zoom. Those are a wonderful way to get connected to our community and to find a little bit more peace in the world. And finally, I host a weekly guitar meditation on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. That all of these you can find on our website. They're right up there on the front page as well as on the events page there. So please check those out, because it's a really great way to get into the practices that Dr. Kim was talking about today, and to be able to do it in community, because everything's easier in community. That's what I know. So that is a lot of meditation. I hope you'll check that out. And now please enjoy a video from Carrie Manwiller about our Circles for Spiritual Connection, which is another wonderful way for you to get connected in with our community here.
Hi, my name is Carrie, and I am a part of the Circles for Spiritual Connection here at the Center for Spiritual Living. During the pandemic, around May of 2020, I needed community and some encouragement. Someone mentioned the Center for Spiritual Living to me, and I started watching the services online. Then in September, I joined a circle. I'm still part of that same circle today, and meeting with them each week is something I look forward to. We meet together, check in with the group, and discuss the questions related to Sunday's talk. We've even gone on a hike together. It's a wonderful and positive experience to be a part of the circle, and it's provided a sense of connection and belonging. If you would like to be a part of a circle, I invite you to check out the information on the website.
Thank you for that, Carrie. And now, before we close out our service, I did want to share our condolences as a community with Buffalo. I'm sure you've all read about what the shooting in Buffalo yesterday, and I wanted to acknowledge that that's a challenging thing, and that our condolences go out to everybody who's been affected by that. And if that's something that has weighing heavy on your heart, I invite you to join us for the after-service prayer on Zoom and pray with a practitioner. Or if there's just challenging things going on in your life, after-service prayer is a really wonderful way to find our way back to our heart center and to bring in the love of that one mind, that higher mind that Dr. Kim was talking about. So I'm going to invite you to stand up as we close this thing out. And I actually have the script this week so that we can get it right and not rely on our memories. So repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. And life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. All right, so please know with me that you are never alone. That Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within to know at any moment that you're guided, sustained, and empowered by a presence that it expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly, so that in everything we do, say, and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Please enjoy the closing music and have a wonderful week. You're all amazing.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, we are family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn